$1 trillion. That's a 1 followed by 12 zeros. If you tried counting to 1 trillion, one number every second, it would take you over 31,000 years. In 2026, Elon Musk became the richest person in human history, the world's first trillionaire. But this story isn't just about money. It's about a man who built companies that are changing how we drive, how we travel to space, and even how we talk to computers. Today, we're going to break down the real story behind that $1 trillion, the failures, the risks, and the lessons you can actually use in your own life, no matter how much money you have right now.
It didn't start with billions. In fact, it didn't even start with thousands. Elon Musk came to America as a young man with almost nothing in his pockets. He worked odd jobs just to survive, cleaning, fixing computers, anything that paid the bills. He slept on couches, pulled long nights, and faced rejection after rejection from banks, investors, and employers. Most people in that position would have given up and settled for a normal, safe job. But Musk kept building, small project after small project, slowly laying the foundation for everything that would come later.
His early companies were eventually sold for millions of dollars, enough money for Musk to retire comfortably for the rest of his life. Most people would have stopped right there. A house, a nice car, a stress-free future, all of it was within reach. But Musk wasn't interested in comfort. He looked at the world and saw two massive problems nobody else was solving: clean energy and space travel. And instead of protecting his money, he decided to risk almost all of it chasing those two ideas. Musk put nearly everything he had into two brand new companies: Tesla, an electric car company, and SpaceX, a rocket company. At the time, both ideas sounded almost impossible. Electric cars were seen as slow, ugly, and unreliable. Private rockets were seen as a hobby for rich people that would never actually work. Experts and analysts publicly said both companies would go bankrupt within a year. Friends warned him he was making a huge mistake. But Musk didn't listen. He believed the math worked, even if nobody else did. SpaceX's first launch failed. Then the second one failed. Then the third one failed too. Each rocket exploding midair, live for the world to see. By this point, the company was running dangerously low on money, and employees were worried they'd lose their jobs. Most founders, facing 3 failures in a row and almost no cash left, would have shut everything down. But Musk took the very last of his personal savings, money that could have supported his family for years, and used it to fund one final attempt. That fourth launch succeeded, and that single success saved the entire company. It proved that private companies could actually build rockets that worked, something governments had assumed only they could do. Today, SpaceX launches more rockets into space than any single country on Earth, and its reusable rocket technology has made space travel dramatically cheaper than ever before. One success, after 3 failures, completely changed the direction of the company, and in many ways, the entire space industry. While SpaceX was struggling, Tesla was facing its own crisis. In 2008, during one of the worst financial crashes in modern history, Tesla was just weeks away from running out of money completely. Musk put in the last $20 million he had, money that was originally meant to support his own family, just to keep the company alive for one more month. It was an enormous personal risk. But it worked. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies on the planet, and it helped push the entire auto industry toward electric vehicles. One of the things Musk is most famous for is his work schedule, often 80 to 100 hours a week, sometimes sleeping at the factory itself during critical periods. But his real secret isn't just working more hours than everyone else, it's his ability to focus intensely on the handful of things that actually matter, while ignoring almost everything else. While running multiple massive companies at the same time, he became known for stripping away unnecessary steps, cutting through bureaucracy, and obsessing over the core problem until it was solved. Through all of this, Musk has faced an enormous amount of criticism. From the media, from competitors, from short sellers betting against his companies, and even from his own investors at times. There were years when headlines regularly predicted that his companies were about to collapse. But instead of stopping to respond to every critic, he kept building. The rockets kept launching. The cars kept rolling off the factory line. Over time, the results spoke louder than the criticism ever did. Musk didn't stop at cars and rockets. Over the years, he kept entering completely new industries: brain-computer interface technology, artificial intelligence, tunnel boring infrastructure, and even buying the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Each new venture followed a familiar pattern: bold claims, heavy public criticism, early struggles, and eventually significant growth. Whether people loved or hated each move, it kept adding to the overall size and value of what he had built. All of this, the years of failure, the enormous personal risks, the sleepless nights, and the constant criticism, eventually added up to something historic. In 2026, the combined value of Musk's companies pushed his net worth past $1 trillion, making him the richest individual to ever exist in recorded history. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't a single overnight decision. It was the result of decades of high-risk bets, most of which could have easily gone the other way. So, what can you actually take from this story, even if you'll never run a car company or a rocket company? Bet on yourself, even when others doubt you. Expect failure along the way, and keep going anyway, because the next attempt might be the one that works. Focus on what matters most, and stop wasting energy on everything else. You don't need $1 trillion to apply these lessons. You just need the willingness to start, today, with whatever you have. If this video helped you, make sure to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this.